Okay, this is a demo for SCD2. This is basically what we're going to try and make today. Got source system, destination system, sends all the stuff through, does the relevant logic. So I'll show you the systems. Basically two databases, destination system, source system. They could be on different servers, but today they're not. So in the destination system, it's empty. Same in the source one. So we're just going to create our tables here. Nothing too fancy, just a bunch of integers in our source, and our destination basically translates here. The business key is the unique key because that's our unique business key. Surrogate key is a row identifier basically, and then we got our time tracking, whether a row is from current, and the SCD reason, which is some new functionality that I want to test. So we'll create that, and if we refresh that, we'll be able to see there is a table. So now what we're going to do is populate our source table. Looks like that. Basically 10 rows, all exactly the same data. So now what we're going to do is do what's called an initial load. But to do that, we're going to have to create our package. So we'll just start a new package. So you can see it's a brand new package. So drag out a data flow task. Rename this as demo SCD. Get in here. Now, first things first, we need to add some ADO connectors to our destination system and our source system. Alrighty. So to do ourselves some favors, gonna need some sources. Two sources in fact. Rename this source system. Rename this as destination system. Basically, you need to bring both in as sources so that the logic can compare the rows and find all the changes. So you can see 10 rows. And on this one, destination system, no rows, which is what we expect. Next things first, really, we need to bring in our logic unit, which is the SCD component. Connect the destination in as the existing dimension. Connect our source up as our source system. You're noticing for special members, but we're not using those today. Okay, so we just double click into that. Okay, so we have to map these out. So this is the surrogate key. I've named it nice and easy to know what's what. Business key. Basically today I'm going to show you the difference between SCD1 and SCD2. So I've got both. Date valid from, that's an SCD2 methodology, so that's effective date. And the valid to is the expiry date. Current flag, SCD2 current record. And this reason, we can just not used. So column mapping, business keys, unique key. Normally auto maps if the names are exactly the same, but they're not. So we'll have to do the hard work for it. Alright, so we're all done here. Notice you don't map the surrogate key or this flag information. Basically, you tick here if you want it to detect null as an error, but we don't. We want it to ignore case and spaces. So it knows what the now variable is, just used when the package was run. We want to go down to the second for purposes of the demo. Old one ends now, and the new one starts 1 second from now. And if it's not expired, we want the end date to be null. Surrogate key handling, we want the component to do it because I haven't used any SQL identities. We want to seed it to 0, increment by 1. If we had a bigger data set, I'd do some work about getting a variable and making sure that variable had the correct start seed, but we're not, so I'll just leave it as is. Not using any inferred members. Output column selection, we're not doing any of that. Basically, for each output that you get, you can customize it, but we want it all to be the same. No auditing, although you can do things like counters and put it to a variable, but we're not using that today. Not going to do any logging, and we want the component to manage the performance. Basically, you can see we've got 5 warnings about the outputs not being attached, which we'll do next, and 3 informations by saying performance isn't optimized, which we would do for a bigger deployment, but for the demo we won't. So we want to save what we've done so far. Alright, so now we need to put in some destinations. Alright, new records, new SCD2. Brand new SCD2 detected. So we'll start with those. You can see on your output, you've got multiple outputs. So for this one, new rows only. On here, we want new SCD2 only. So we've got brand new. We want to send it to the destination, and we want to map it. And the SCD reason is the row change reason. Current flag is a current flag. And just make sure they're all what they should be. SCD2, exact same thing. Pick the table, do the mapping, and pick the row change reason. So next up, we want to get some upserts. The reason we use ADO is basically so we can use these upserts, and we want to have our updated SCD1 columns to go here, and we also want our expired SCD2. So what this does is edit SCD2 flags, and what we want this to do is be for update the SCD1. Basically, we want to use our destination, put it to the same table, select the surrogate key, make sure the mappings all make sense, and this is the row change reason. Okay, that all looks good. Let's rename that to update the SCD1 fields. So I'm going to use some null terminators for stuff that we can capture but don't want to do anything with. So if it's deleted from the source, don't care. Here, if it's unchanged, we don't care. Basically, you could do different things with it, but for the demonstration, we're just going to pipe them all to null. And if it's invalid input, we don't care. And let's set up this SCD2 flags thing now. Same as the other one. Destination system, destination table, pick the surrogate key, make all the mappings make sense. And should be good as gold. And you just go back in here to clear the X. And basically we've cleared the X now. There's no warnings, only information about having sorts, which we're not going to do, and the variable for the surrogate key, which we're not going to do. So press yes. And we'll just save that. Okay, so in the source, so this is a SCD1 demo. So I'll show you what it looks like at the start. Basically, 10 rows, nothing in the destination. So let's do our initial load. So in the initial load, you can see we've got 10 in the source, 0 in the destination, and they're all brand new records. Beautiful. So we stop that, go here, and I'll show you what it looks like now. So we still got our 10 rows unchanged. Over here, this is our data basically, the same as it's above. 110 in the ID, then everything's got ones, and it's valid from 326, which you can see is the time that it's run at, and they're all current, and it was in here because the row is new. So now we'll do some update to the source system. We'll update 3 rows, set the data 1 column, and we'll just insert a new row, see what it looks like. Alright, so now just basically to show you before we run the component what it looks like. We got some 2s in the data 1 column, everything else is the same. Destination hasn't magically worked it, so now let's see what the tool does. So we press play. 11 rows from the source, 10 rows from the destination now, 1 new row, and we have 3 updates. Going to here, I don't know how clear it is. Maybe let's try and zoom in a bit. There we go, updated 3 rows. So we'll just put a stop to that. We're all hunky-dory. Go back and let's see what it looks like after the job. So after the job, source is still the same. It's got the 2s in there where we wanted it. And in the dimension, we still only have, we have 1 new row for number 11. And we can see that there's been 3 here, SCD1 changed to data 1. And if you look at data 1, it has 2 value. Okay, so as you can see, we have a new entry for here. And we have 3 updates with just overwritten for 1, 3, and 5. So that's all hunky-dory. Now for SCD2. So obviously it still looks the same as what it was. You know, 2's in the data 1 column, over here 2's in the data 1 column with 11 rows. So now let's update a different column, data 3, for rows 1, 3, and 5. And let's insert a new record. And now let's see what it looks like before we start. So we've got 2 here, 2 in data row 3. And down here, we've got business key 11, but we now know we have business key 12 to go in. So let's see what happens when we press run. Alright, so you can see 12 and 11 from the destination, 1 new row. But this time, instead of going to update to SCD1, 3 updates have gone to SCD2. And we have also got 3 records going to expired SCD2, which is set the flags to expired. So let's just zoom in, not sure how well you can see. So you can see expired SCD2 3 and new SCD is 3. So let's press stop on that. Oh, and nothing's gone. We've got 8 unchanged rows and then nothing else. So let's press stop. So we go here. Let's see the after. So you can see we still go up to 12. Nothing's changed in the source. But now we have 3 that are no longer current, which is the zeros. And you can see that they're set to 0 because SCD2 changed the data 3. But you can see data 3 is still a 1, where it should be a 2. But these are only valid till 3:35 and 38 seconds, which was about half a minute ago. If we go to the bottom, we'll see that we have business keys 351, which relate to 531 here. And you can see the 2s are down here. And you can see SCD, it's created because of that, it's current, but it's only current as of 3:35 and 39 seconds ago. So exactly 1 second after these expired. But you can also see that row 12 came in here. So now let's see how that looks in a report. If we go select staff from destination system dot dest table. Okay. So you can see that's everything. But we would go look at the only current stuff is where current flag equals 1. Oh, sorry, should have highlighted that. So you can see that they're the current, we only have 13 rows. But what if we want to see a history on business key 1? So you can see here, the current for business key 1 is surrogate key 13. And you can see business key 1 has 2 surrogate keys, the original entry with some SCD1 changes, and then the newest SCD2 entry, which is current. Alright, so now let's see a mixture of SCD2 and SCD1 combos. So let's have a look here. You can see because I did that accidental F5 before, I inserted the 12 2 more times. So let's fix that. So remove that, and we'll put the 12 in there for good measure again. Alright. So this is what it should look like. 1 to 12, and we still got here 1 to 12 with the 3, 5, and 1 changes. Okay, so now we're going to set some other columns that are SCD2 on some different rows this time. And we're also going to insert a new one. So let's show you what it looks like now. So we have 2, 4, 6 with changes to data 4 and data 2. So data 2 is an SCD2 column, and data 4 is an SCD2 column. Or data 2 is SCD1, sorry. As you can see, data 2, we're going to do SCD1. Data 4 is SCD2. So let's go to the SSIS job, press play, and see what happens. So we got 13 rows in the source system, 15 rows in the dimension system, and you can see that's more than the source system now because we got some history tracking. We got one brand new row, which is correct. We got 3 SCD2 changes, and then we also expire the old SCD2, and we send that through as unchanged. The 12 unchanged rows is unchanged. So let's press stop. Let's go to SQL Server, and here we go. So still got our 1 to 13. So we got our new record here, but we've got some more stuff up at the top now that is no longer valid. So if I was to add to that, and we updated to business key in 246. So you can see the whole dimension has expired stuff, and that's 19 rows. If you take out the expired stuff, so it's only current, there's 13 rows, and that's let's do that again. So yep, we can see it's all in order to surrogate key. These things went in first, they're no longer current, they had changes on these various things here. Now these are all the current ones, so that's a new row. These have had changes, and they're still new. In this one, we can see, which again is 19 rows because of the history. If we pick only the current ones, we've got 13 rows. You can see these have never been changed since they were put in. These have been changed, and that's why they're there. And you can also see that where they have expired 40, so for example, business key 5 has expired at 3:41:12, and then if you come here, 3:35:39. I think I did that right. Oh, business key 5. Yeah, I did that right. So 3:35:39. And there. And now this is what a history report would look like. So you have business key 2, you can see that it went in first as 32151 here, that's how it went in. But then it changed at 3:41 and 13 seconds here, and the change was on data 4, and you can see here data 4 has changed, same as these ones here. And you can see the bit of commentary as what happened on those rows. So that's pretty much my demonstration. I'll clean up now. There we go. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was informative. And that's basically what it looks like. So thanks very much.